Studio The Life and Career of Kash Patel. Kashyap Pramod Vinod Patel, better known as Kash Patel, was born on February 25, 1980, in Garden City, New York. His story is at once a classic American immigrant tale and a uniquely modern path into law, politics, and power. To understand where he is today, it helps to trace his journey back to his family's roots. Patel's parents were Gujaratis from India who, like many in their community, had settled in East Africa. They lived in Uganda until the early 1970s, when dictator Idi Amin expelled thousands of Indians, accusing them of disloyalty. Patel's father, Pramod, was forced to leave behind the life he had built, eventually making his way to the United States. Kash was born into that new life, the son of immigrants who carried the scars of displacement, but also the ambition to succeed in America. Growing up in Garden City, Long Island, Patel was immersed in two cultures at once. At home, he was raised in the Hindu faith, taught values of dharma, duty and righteousness, karma, accountability for one's actions, and seva or service. His parents instilled discipline and respect for education. But outside the home, Patel embraced an all-American upbringing. He went to Garden City High School, worked summers as a caddy at the local country club, and played ice hockey, even coaching youth teams later on. Those early experiences of balance, of immigrant values and mainstream American life, would become a theme throughout his career. By 2002, Patel had completed his undergraduate studies at the University of Richmond, majoring in criminal justice and history. His interest in law and justice was clear from the start. 2 years later, he earned a certificate in international law from University College London, a sign that he was already thinking globally. He returned to the United States to finish his legal training, earning a Juris Doctor from Pace University School of Law in 2005. Patel's first years as a lawyer took him into the trenches of public defense. In Miami-Dade County and later as a federal public defender in the Southern District of Florida, he represented people accused of crimes, often those with the least power and resources. It was a formative experience, giving him a front-row view of how the justice system can overwhelm individuals. For nearly 6 years, Patel stood on that side of the courtroom, fighting to protect constitutional rights. But in 2011, he crossed over. Patel joined the Department of Justice as a terrorism prosecutor in the National Security Division. Now, instead of defending the accused, he was prosecuting cases linked to terrorism and national security. This shift was profound. He had seen both sides of justice, defending the powerless and wielding the power of the state. That duality would become a hallmark of his career. Patel's rise to prominence, however, came not just from the courtroom, but from politics. In 2017, he became senior counsel to Congressman Devin Nunes, then chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Patel quickly became a central figure in the investigation into FBI surveillance of Trump campaign aide Carter Page. He helped draft what became known as the Nunes Memo, a document that accused the FBI and Department of Justice of abusing their authority in pursuing surveillance warrants during the Russia investigation. The memo made Patel a household name in Washington. Supporters praised him for exposing what they called deep-seated misconduct. Critics accused him of distorting intelligence to defend Donald Trump. Either way, Patel had stepped firmly into the political spotlight. From there, his career became closely tied to the Trump administration. He served in several roles, eventually being named Chief of Staff to Acting Secretary of Defense Christopher Miller in late 2020. That position put Patel near the center of power during one of the most turbulent moments in recent American history, the weeks after the 2020 presidential election. Critics charged that Trump was installing loyalists at the Pentagon to cement control, and Patel's name was often cited in that context. Supporters, meanwhile, saw him as a steady hand ensuring security during a chaotic transition. After Trump left office in January 2021, Patel stayed in the public eye as a vocal ally of the former president. He appeared frequently on conservative media, defending Trump and continuing to argue that federal agencies were corrupted by a deep state. In 2023, he published a book titled *Government Gangsters: The Deep State, the Truth, and the Battle for Our Democracy. The book doubled down on his central theme, that entrenched bureaucrats inside government agencies wield power in ways that undermine democracy. Fans of the book saw it as a courageous exposé. Critics dismissed it as conspiratorial. By 2024, as Donald Trump campaigned for a return to the White House, Patel was often mentioned as a potential pick for senior national security or law enforcement posts in a second Trump administration. When Trump won, Patel's rise reached its peak. In early 2025, he briefly served as acting director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. And by April of that year, the Senate confirmed him as director of the FBI. The appointment was historic. Patel became one of the first Indian-American Hindus to lead the FBI. But it was also controversial. His critics argued that his outspoken attacks on the FBI in the past made him an unsuitable choice to lead it. Supporters countered that he was exactly what the agency needed, an outsider unafraid to confront abuses and bring accountability. Looking back, Patel's journey from a Long Island childhood to the top of American law enforcement reflects both his personal values and the political currents of his time. The son of immigrants expelled from Uganda, raised in the Hindu faith, educated in American schools, he carried a blend of resilience, cultural identity, and ambition. His early years as both defender and prosecutor gave him a rare perspective on justice. His work in Congress and the Trump administration tied him to one of the most polarizing political movements in recent history. Today, as FBI director, Patel remains a figure who divides opinion sharply. To some, he is a truth-teller who exposes corruption. To others, he is a partisan warrior who undermines trust in institutions. But whichever side one takes, it is undeniable that his path from the son of displaced immigrants to the head of the FBI is a story of ambition, controversy, and the complicated nature of power in modern America.